This is Morten from Inkish. We are here at Printing United in Las Vegas, and it's great always to see so many good friends and so much technology. And it's a pleasure to actually make a follow-up with my good friend Mike Herold from
Hey,
EMT.
Morten, how are you? Good to see you. Great to see you.
Last time that was on my side of the pond, right?
That's right. We were over there in Germany at Drupa. We got to catch up there. So yes, over there. Yep.
Every time I see you and I see EMT, I can't help think about that. It is. It must. I know. I circle back on that, but going from being on a Rico side to a finishing side, it must both be very different, but it must also be very exciting because now you can talk to all the OEMs as we spoke about, right?
Yeah. We did have that conversation about. And really, I've always been in my career trying to be as open as I possibly can and working with as many people as I possibly can. Solutioning problems works better when you have these great collaborations with your partners and other technology providers in the world. And in fact, I was just, while we were waiting to talk to you, I was waiting to talk to you, I was talking to a customer, we were having a similar conversation about these technologies and how they progress and how they evolve. And as that happens, sort of where the different problems or opportunities emerge in different ways as the life cycle goes on and how we address those things. So yeah, it's great to be able to work with so many different people in the industry.
I was also thinking because, I mean, as we spoke about just before we turned on the camera, I mean, at this show you're focusing on mailing solutions, right? Yeah. And I guess that if you, let's say that you come into a mailing company, right? Yeah. And they have, let's say, HP, Ricoh, and Canon equipment, right? It must be super nice to come and provide a finishing solution that is like the same for all of them, because I mean, gives you new opportunities in the market, right?
Yeah. We want to be able to partner and support as many customers as we can. And we know now that more and more as time goes on, that customers are going to have a variety of technologies, because what's happening is everybody, the service providers, the printers themselves are looking at so many different applications that they can run. We're having conversations this morning about this concept of convergence and how we've been talking about that for a long time, of where these different applications are today and where they're coming from or where they're going in the future. And then as a provider of those solutions, as a printer, as a marketing service provider, as a print service provider, you have to continue to sort of innovate and be flexible and how you approach those opportunities, which means that you're going to need additional partners to help you support that. So again, that's really about, at EMT International, it's a big focus for us of how do we keep ourselves open, transparent, collaborative to work with all these different companies to provide these different solutions that provide real value to the end users in the marketplace.
It's funny because I think I forgot to tell you at Drupa, but just before Drupa, Shika and I, we went to a company that is also customer executive mail services in Chicago. And it was funny because it was together with the MCS, and then when you saw the MCS and the EMT, I think it was unwinders and rewinders they had from you guys, they were like, okay, we pick something that's American made, we pick something that is very robust and very solid in how it operates. I mean, that must also be like, of course, operating out of an American, let's say, market, it gives you opportunities because you don't have to buy Swiss or Italian equipment as a competition here, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right. And I think for us, it's really about, can we collaborate instead of co-innovate within the market that you're trying to support? Obviously, we are an international customer or company,
of course,
trying to supply solutions around the world, which we do today. But obviously, here at a North American show, we're based here in North America, and it gives us a great opportunity to sort of differentiate ourselves in the way that we interact with customers, the way that we respond, the way we innovate, collaborate with them. Because we are known quite well for coming up with solutions to quite complex problems, in addition to having a very standard set of offerings as well too, and sort of typical things that we would put in the marketplace. So we really like to leverage all of those things when we go to the market.
But I think that sometimes customers may actually forget how complex this type of equipment actually is, because I mean, it might be so that the printing presses gets faster and faster, but that of course not just equals one-to-one to the finishing side, because that is like laser sharp precision work that you have. Otherwise, it would not work, right?
That's right. And we were talking about my former life before as well too, and I know that in that role there, what I saw from a printing press, a digital printing press perspective, you saw a lot of great things happening, but they were becoming quite equal, for lack of a better term. And all these conversations I had with customers, it was really about, well, how on the front end, from a data perspective, or how on the back end, particularly on the finishing perspective, can we leverage the great capabilities of these printers to come up with value-driven, impactful sort of deliverables on the back end. And in order to do that, it creates this, okay, got these super fast, high quality printers on the front end, and then on the back end, how do we take the same sort of level of efficiency, automation, creativity, robustness to create very impactful things so that when you receive something in the mail or however it's delivered to you, that it means something, right? You have this few seconds of, aha, wow, this is a really nice piece, right? It engages you and leaves an impression. That's what we're trying to help the industry do.
I was also thinking that it's probably not a bad time to be EMT, because I mean, when you look at, again, the print OEMs, they're talking about the higher quality, the higher speed, the wider substrate ranges that these machines can print super nice quality. But I guess that it's also a challenge for you guys, because as we're looking into more and more, the offset presses are going into digital. It gives you new opportunities, but also new challenges from an R&D perspective, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. There's just so much. Nobody's sitting still from an innovation perspective. Everybody's continuing to push. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's great. That's what we want to have happen. Even so, sometimes that creates pressure on us, but pressure's a good thing, right? I think if you watch the U.S. Open tennis, there's the famous quote there as they walk out, which says, "Pressure is a privilege," right? And we see it that way as well too, which is to have this pressure of the industry to innovate, to get better. That's a privilege to be able to participate in that, and we certainly see that. And the printer OEMs will continue to innovate. Our competition will continue to innovate, and the pressure of that is a real privilege for us to try to bring value to the market.
Is that, I mean, is the focus area of EMT for the most? Has that been mainly for the transactional and the mailing market, or?
Historically, yes. So if you think about, it's an 85-year-old company that really got involved in initially sort of supporting the paper mills and the converters and then the commercial printers.
That was the starting point.
That was the starting point, and helping them process material. That's how we got started. And then when digital printing came out, then EMT got involved in digital finishing 20, 30 years ago as well. And so now we have those capabilities. So sort of the history there was around kind of transaction print and mailing print, but we're expanding beyond that. We do a lot of different applications now in packaging, labeling, mailing, transaction, commercial,
I was just about to say, because I mean, with your experience, as we've also been talking, I mean, I think it came kind of a surprise to a lot of people when you moved from Ricoh to EMT, right? But I guess the knowledge you have and the experience you have from working with Ricoh gives you a lot of, I know that you're probably mostly involved in sales, but I mean, the knowledge you have also on the technical level and understanding of where the printing technology goes is a huge asset for EMT on which routes to focus on in the future development, right?
Well, I certainly hope so. I'm sure. To your point, I did start my career in a more technical role and then sort of evolved into marketing, but my role has always been about listening first.
We're all nerds, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're all nerds. And I'll never change. Nerd for life. And but it's really about listening and trying to understand what are our customers trying to do. And I've talked in my own kind of videos that I put on there about getting out and being with people, being with customers, being at great events like Printing United, and really using that as a place to listen and to think and figure out how do we get better as an industry and continue to provide these solutions. That, of course, it means you've got to understand the technology, where it needs to go and what it can do, and bring all those things together for customers.
Last question, and you mentioned yourself Printing United. We forgot to talk about Printing United because you got so much carried away. If you look at Printing United as a trade show, how important is it for you to be here?
It's very important, right? This is another great platform for us to not only kind of talk about what we're doing, but as I just mentioned, it's really the number one thing we want to do here is listen and bring new solutions like we have here today. We've got this, roll to sheeting to buckle folding solution, which we've never shown before. And that's really to generate conversation, to have customers asking us questions. Well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Where are you going to go with this? Or where are you going to go with that? And so, a forum like this where you can have instant ideas, and then if something great comes up, I can run down the hall and say, hey, talk to this great partner. Do you help me with this? I think we got an opportunity to work on something together. I've already done a lot of that today of bouncing around. So it is great to have everybody in one spot at one time, because you can just do so many things so quickly and really build that collaboration together.
Fantastic.
Hey,
congratulations
Martin.
on the show.
Thank you.
I think you have success, right?
Yes. So let's hope so.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martin.
you.